So, whilst the rest of the country has got snow, I've got rain. Right, so for this week's game hunt, what I thought I'd do one of those £10 challenges. I'm going to do it this time with a bit of a twist. So, rather than go just to one shop, look for 3 games, 4 games, whatever you normally do for £10, I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to hit 3 shops over the course of this week. So I can only buy 1 game for any system that I collect for from each of those shops, and I can't go over the budget of £10. So I've got to be pretty selective on how I do this, because the first CEX that I go to, if I spend £7 on a game, it leaves me £3 to spend in the other 2 shops, and I don't know what stock they've got. So I think it just gives a little bit something different to these £5, £10 challenges that you see on YouTube. So I thought I'd check it out, see how we go. I'm going to hit Dagenham Heathway first. It's going to be the first CEX that I hit this week, and let's see what I can come out with. The plan is a good game that I really want to play, that has to be in the rules as well, and get it as cheap as possible. If I can do that on the first stop, then it makes it that much easier on the second and the third, and so on and so on. Yeah, wish me luck. Let's see what I can find in Heathway.
Now, initially I was quite tempted with that Risen, but £6, quite a large chunk of the £10 budget, and plus it had a lot of crust on the sleeve. I'm not going to be taking that amount of crust home into my house. Always a good selection of stuff on the OG Xbox, around about the £4 to £5 mark. Unfortunately, Conan is one I've wanted to pick up for some time. £8, not going to do it today. Now, although I've got plenty of these Knockout King type games on the PlayStation, I don't actually own any on the OG Xbox. So at £2, I was considering this one, but it's something I've played before and probably won't play anytime soon. We've got this one, Mech Assault, here for £5. That's half of the £10 budget, and I always think mech games look really cool, but when it comes to actually playing them, I never quite get on with them. Got Defender here at £4. I'm not quite sure about this game. I've never really looked at it and seen what they've done with the original classic game, but yeah, I don't think I'll be picking that one up today. As intrigued as I am, it's not something I really want to go home and play. I was never the biggest fan of the original arcade Defender back in the day. Not even really worth looking at the Switch. Nothing there. Silent Scope 2. Now, I was really considering this one. I don't know how they play it on the PlayStation 2 though. And I'm also seriously considering the Transformers game. I've heard many people tell me this isn't bad. Got Legion, the legendary Excalibur. Nothing I've ever heard of before, and just looking at the back, it doesn't look like something I want to take home and play in the immediate future. Now my guess is this is going to be terrible. £6 though. I probably would normally buy this on any other day just for intrigue alone, but it's far too much out of a £10 budget in the first shop to be taking such a risk. Now, I've never heard of this game on the PlayStation 3 either. To be fair, it doesn't look like a bad game, but yeah, intrigue alone isn't enough. It's got to be something I'm actually interested in playing. Now, this one is something I don't believe I own. It does look okay. I think old Daniel Craig probably had the best spell with Bond games, other than Pierce.
Right, so It's day 2 of the £10 challenge. It's freezing, snow's gone, cold is still here. I managed to pick up one game yesterday at £2.50, so it still leaves me with a sizable budget for the remaining 2 shops. 3 shops, 3 games. Let's head down to a Barking CEX to see what I can pick up. Hopefully I can get something around about the £4 mark. Gives me something to play with in the final shop. See you there.
Now, as I will allude to when we get to the third shop's footage and the journey there, unfortunately I didn't get as much footage from Barking CEX as I intended to. I was trying to film and I got home and realised various sections just didn't come out on my phone. Boy and his blob there, £12, that's your budget plus more, blown already. GTR 400, looks like Gran Turismo without steroids. No, we're not even going to consider this. Rare replay, it's a good option. I already own it, but it's definitely something that I would have picked up if I didn't already have it. I think that would have been part of the challenge, definitely.
Day 3, £10 challenge. I managed to get out of Barking CEX yesterday with a game at a really good price, and I think it's great value for money. So I spent £3.50 yesterday, which still leaves me, I think, £4 to spend in the final shop today. So I'm going to head down to Ilford, check that one out and see what I can get with the remaining £4. I'll show the games at the end. I'll keep the stickers on the games to show that they came from CEX. Unfortunately, whilst I was doing a bit of filming yesterday in the Barking CEX, I managed to pick up some footage, but for some reason I thought I was filming in certain sections and they didn't come out. So yeah, the actual game I picked up yesterday from Barking CEX, I didn't get that on film. But yeah, I'm really happy with that one. I think CEX have missed a trick, in all honesty, because I got a game on the 360 and on the PS3 this same game is £20, but on the 360 it's only £3.50. So anyway, let's head down to Ilford, see what we can get.
Now, I've always liked the Ilford branch, always some good stock in there, and a couple of hidden gems I've definitely picked up over the years when I've been travelling in and around this area. Today was no different. There's a lot of games I picked up today that I could have included in this challenge, and I'll go through the ones that I found most likely as we come across them. This is one of them, Backyard Wrestling at £4. It's not the greatest of games, but you know what, for a 2-player game it's actually quite a lot of fun. I wouldn't recommend playing it too much on your own, but it's a good laugh nevertheless. Right, based on a training and aid developed for the US Army. Yep, we'll pass on that. As we'll pass on that babysitting game. Now, I saw this and thought to myself, you know what? I don't own a single fishing game. And then it dawned on me. I don't like fishing, that's why. It's good to see myself as an influencer here since covering this game very briefly. It's gone up from £1 to £1.50, making my mark in the game, I guess. Now, this card game has recently been nominated for Game of the Year. It's always intrigued me, and it's one of very few games that's actually cheaper on a Nintendo Switch. Currently goes at £12, and although it's not going to be considered for today's challenge, it's something I'm probably going to pick up moving forward. Also £12, as you can see there on the Xbox Series. I do believe that's going to be more of a handheld type game though. Got Battlefront on the PlayStation 4 at £3. I'm pretty certain that's more of an online game. And look here, Transformers in the last 24 hours has gone down by £1. Much cleaner copy as well. Another Silent Scope here as well, Similar price to the last one we saw. Now look at that, Grand Theft Auto 3 for £3. If I didn't own it already, that's a no-brainer, it'd be jumping straight in. Same with this one, Driver at £4. Although I'm not 100% if I own this, but I'm pretty certain I do. Which is why, spoiler alert, I'll be leaving this one behind today. Got Dragon and Rage here at £3. I don't know nothing about this game, and yeah, there's a bit of intrigue there. It fits the budget, but yeah, I don't want to go home and play it anytime soon. I've got a real feeling it's a stinker. Now this game really annoys me. First, it's not to be sold separately. Secondly, it's called Get on the Mic. Hashtag no microphone. How are you supposed to get on the mic without a microphone? Things like that really bug me. You can't freestyle on a PlayStation 2. Hot Wheels Stun Track Challenge. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? I've never really liked any Hot Wheels games. I've always thought they were quite the poor man's micro machines. So I'll pass on that one today. Now this really intrigued me. This is definitely something I'm considering to buy today. Looks like a modern type road rash game, jacked on a PlayStation 2, and in all honesty, it doesn't look bad. Anyway, let's get home. It's freezing out there, and let's see if I manage to pull off the challenge. 3 games, 3 shops, £10. See you back home.
We're back home now. We've had 3 days out, travelling around a couple of CEXs. I didn't plan none of it. I had various life chores that I had to be doing this week, which just so happened meant I was going past a few CEXs. So that's why I came up with this idea, just to do the £10 challenge, but like I said earlier, put a little bit of a twist on it. Only can buy 1 game from each store, and I guess you've got to be a little bit more tactical with this, because like I said earlier in the video, if you spend too much of that £10 budget in store 1, it leaves you lacking in store 2 and in store 3. So ideally you want to get out cheap as possible in store 1. Mid-range, I can't believe I'm saying this, really on a £10 budget. It's not really mid-range per se, is it? But mid-range on the second game, and hopefully leaves you with something a little bit sizable, all things considered, for the final shop. So yeah, let's see what we come up with anyway. The rules were, and I always stick to these rules, they've got to be games for systems that I collect for. It's obvious, isn't it, really? There doesn't matter what formats, you can buy one of PlayStation 3 PlayStation 3s, 2 Wii games, 1 PS2 games. I don't hold restrictions in that sense. Maybe I'll do one moving forward where you can only buy 1 game on a particular system. Once you've bought a game on the 360, for example, that is now eliminated. That's an idea to maybe explore moving down the line. The other rule is, as well, as you would have seen, there's plenty of games I saw that look cheap, fit the criteria, but I'll stay honest to myself. And what it is, they've got to be games that I like the look of and that I'm intrigued to play. So there's loads that I could have easily picked up and completed such a challenge. It's not difficult if you go into that challenge with that mentality. Of course you can buy games, 3 games for £10. You can buy a lot more than that, but you've got to make the challenge a little bit creative. You know, you've got to see games that you think to yourself, hey, I don't own that, but you know what, I'm interested in playing it. And it's quite easy to do. You just got to be in the right shop.
in all honesty, out of the 3 shops that I went in over the course of the week, the final shop in Ilford, if you look at the footage earlier, probably had the most choice within that sort of price range for me to make a decision. So without further ado, let's have a look at the 3 games that I picked up over the course of this week. My calculations are all over the place. Don't ask me how I got mixed up, but I ended up spending a grand total of £9.50, so 50 pence to spare. Could have bought another copy of Red Steel. I think I've already got 3 of them flying around, so didn't bother. But yeah, £9.50 all in all. None of these games are, you know, breaking the mould or anything like that. They can be considered fodder, but I've made sure it's games that I don't own, ones that I'm intrigued to play. And in particular, one of these titles that I picked up, as I mentioned earlier at the bus stop, I think I got a really good deal, because the same game on the PlayStation 3 is £20, the same variant, but yet on the 360, CEX are only pricing it at £3.50. So yeah, I had a little bit of a steal there. CEX are, as you know, increasing their prices on steelbooks slowly but surely. They've cottoned on to that. There was a time where all steelbooks would be the same price as everything else, but slowly but surely the people down at the head office are marking those steelbooks and then variants up to suit the price that they want to charge for it. They've cottoned on, so enjoy it while you can. If you see a steelbook out there at a good price and you like the look of it and you want to keep it on display, don't sit on it, because next time you might go down to CEX, that game could be double the price, maybe even more. Anyway, let's have a look what we got first. So the first shop we went to was Dagenham, local one. I head down to a post office that day, so quickly popped into a post office, done what I had to do. Post office is relatively close to the CEX, and you would have seen there was a couple of good games in that shop, but I ended up going with, now I don't think this is really a good game, I've been told it's not, but it's one I don't own, and yeah, I will play it. I'll probably be playing it over the course of the weekend if I don't go out anywhere. I've heard the GameCube version is bad, so I can't imagine that the PlayStation 2 one's going to be much better, if at all. And that is Wolverine's Revenge. So as I've said, I've kept the stickers on here to show you the prices, and they actually come from CEX. So Wolverine's Revenge on the PlayStation 2, I've not heard great things about it. But how bad can it be? £3. So I managed to get that one out of Dagenham. So I'm now down to £7 to spend in the remaining 2 shops. So I'll show you what I've got in Ilford next, because the game that I got in Barking was the one that I think I got the really good deal on. So yeah, let's have a look to see what we got in the Ilford branch. The Ilford branch, as you would have seen a lot of the footage there, had a lot of options on there that I was really considering. You know, the Backyard Wrestling on the OG Xbox was one I was strongly considering. I don't own that game. I thought I did, but I checked and I don't own it. I swore I owned it at one point. It's one of those games that I know I've played loads of. It's pretty terrible, but if you're playing it on a 2-player basis, it's not a bad game at all. You can have some fun in 2-player, not so much in 1-player. I was eyeing that up. I was eyeing up Silent Scope. There was quite a few games in there, but I saw this game in Dagenham as well. It wasn't in good as condition and with the manual as I saw today. And I've got a friend, shout out to Uncle Benny, who has recommended this game on multiple occasions in one of our Discords, and I had to pick it up based on his recommendations. He's always been pretty spot on with recommendations for me in the past, so I'm going to trust him on this one. And again, I only spent £3, which left me only needing to spend £4. Well, technically that's not true because this was the final purchase out of the 3. Anyway, you know what this old man means. So this game taking me up to £6 out of my budget of £10. Again on the PlayStation 2. Transformers, the game. So this is a first person shooter. I've always kind of steered clear away from it because it's that licensed kind of game, and Michael Bay, why wouldn't you? But yeah, I've heard a couple of people tell me that this is actually a really good game. It's dropped in price recently. It was £5 a few other weeks that I've been eyeing it up. I've never decided to pull the trigger on it, probably because it's kind of like I want to play it but not in a rush. But I figured today, what with the challenge that I'm doing, it's a pretty good time to do, or to pull the trigger, shall we say, on games that I kind of feel that way towards. So Transformers the game on the PlayStation 2, I think that fits the criteria quite nicely. So 2 games there, and like I said, they're not going to blow you away. That's not what the whole point of this challenge is. It's just to show you that if you dig deep, small budget, you can pick up game or 2, you know, and boost your collection. And not just with games that you look that you think you want to have on the shelf, games that you think to yourself, I'm going to go home and play that. But I've saved the best for last, and I think, as I said, I think CEX have definitely missed a trick here with this one. So the third and final game was one that I actually thought I owned on the 360 in its normal format. However, Barking has been quite good to me in terms of variants and steelbooks over the last how many years. Whenever I've been in there, you just got to really dig deep, and all of a sudden I've had it on a number of occasions where you just all of a sudden look like, what's that? I'm gonna buy that. I wouldn't have bought it otherwise. And this is the same. It's one of those games that I thought I owned. Turns out I didn't. There's no reason why I wouldn't buy it. I think I had it years ago when it first came out, and the game didn't offend me at all. But thinking about it, I wouldn't mind getting back into it. The series has had a little bit of a revival in 2024 with a new release. One that I've yet to actually play apart from the demo, so I'm intrigued by that alone. And it is on the Xbox 360, Prince of Persia, Forgotten Sands. Now, however, this is the steelbook variant. It's not in the best of condition, in all honesty, as most steelbooks from this time tend to suffer with multiple rust and broken hinges and stuff like that. And this is no different, if I'm totally honest. The hinges on it are not in the best condition, but the rest of it is really quite smooth. And again, at £3.50, it's a game that I would have picked up at some point anyway, and I would have paid that £3 or £3.50 just for your standard edition. To see the steelbook version, this was always coming with me. So it's things like this that make these kind of challenges, in my eyes, pretty fruitful. They're games that I wouldn't have been looking out for, in all honesty. I'm not really game hunting as much towards the end of the year. We've got Christmas coming up. We've just had the London gaming market. I need to try and get myself out of game hunting mode slightly, just so that my kids actually have presents and there's a turkey on the table on the 25th of December. Otherwise, it will be turkey pot noodle for all of us if I carry on. We don't want that. So yeah, the good thing with this, comes complete with manual. It's got your standard 360 game, and it's also got a bonus DVD with it, which when I purchased, or when I went to try and purchase, I was unaware of. So that's a nice bonus. I would have just been happy with this, with the disc alone. To actually have the DVD with it as well, that's a nice bonus. What's on it, I don't know at this time. Reading it and looking online, couldn't find very much information whatsoever, but I'm going to be guessing that it's a Ubisoft type production, the making of, etc, etc. I will check it out. I like watching those kind of DVDs. Probably only the once, I'll never watch it again, but it's all knowledge, so yeah, really happy with that one. Now, as I've said, the hinges not great on it, but I would imagine at some point they're going to put this one up. If the PlayStation SteelBook variant is £20, it's only a matter of time before they hit on and make the 360 the same price, if not a little bit lower, a little bit higher. So yeah, I consider the challenge a success. £9.50 was spent, 3 games, and at least 2 of them I'm going to say are quality games, and that is the Transformers game. As again I said, it's been recommended, I've been told it's a lot better than it has any right to be, so I'm looking forward to playing that one actually. Looking forward to this one, also watching the DVD, and who doesn't love a steelbook? And although I'm intrigued to play this one, and I'm happy to add it to the collection, definitely the weakest out of the 3 that I believe that I picked up today. Now, I could have picked up better games, most definitely, as we've seen throughout the course of the video, some of the stuff that you guys saw. However, like I said, I was limiting myself to 1 game per shop, just to give it a little bit more spice to the challenge, because, you know, if you just go out and around and just say you can mix it up, you could easily come away with stuff. And I like to challenge myself when making some of this content, give myself some different ideas, so forth and so forth. I love doing the CEX hunts. They are pretty much my most popular videos on my channel, so I will keep doing them. But yeah, I want to start changing things up in that aspect a little bit. Not just the hunt, got to try and keep the channel fresh, keep the content fresh. There's loads of us guys doing this sort of niche content out there, and it's great. Every single one of us, I believe, brings something to the table. We've all got something about us, and everyone does their own thing, and we all need to evolve and change. And so for that reason, I need to keep thinking of a few different ideas as I start going to the same CEXs in London over and over. 2025, however, will be a different matter. I'll be venturing out of London a lot more. It's been difficult this year for various reasons that are personal, family reasons, that I'm not going to be going into on here. YouTube is escapism. I don't need to tell you about what's going on in my home life, anything like that. That's not what you're here for. No one clicks the button to hear my woes. Anyway, I think I've done alright. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think I've done okay for £10 there? Is there any of the other games that you saw in the footage that you believe I should have picked up in a particular shop as well? Very keen to hear your thoughts on this one. And yeah, as we approach the 3,000 sub mark, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone that has supported the channel, watched, liked, shared, commented, all that good stuff. The comments, the likes, the shares. I didn't realise just how vital that is to the channel, because yeah, the interaction helps your stuff, or my stuff in this case, get seen that much more. I'm not someone that's doing YouTube for any other reason, because I enjoy it and escapism. But it's always nice to see your content get out there and people appreciate it. We're all human. We all like to get that sort of slap on the back, or pat on the back rather, from ourselves to say, yep, you've done a good video there, it's done quite well. Just gives you that motivation to keep moving forward and doing it for you guys out there. Anyway guys, thank you for watching as always. I'll be back with some more gameplay videos. We've got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge playthrough. Is going to be starting, or has started by the time you see this, so please take the time to check that one out. Loads of other gameplay videos on the channel, news and views, and we've got some big things coming up in 2025. Once again, Take care, and I'll see you all on the next video.